Okay. With that being said, good morning once again. Welcome to the GMAP Broadcast Network. I am Pastor Kevin, and I am welcoming a young lady who I have finally had the opportunity to meet. Praise God. And we thank God for you, James. James Sisson, we love you. We can't wait. As a matter of fact, we're going to be honoring James Sisson and the Chosen Ones at our first annual Salvation Celebration, May 13th at the Ramada Inn in Waukegan. James Sisson is one of the honorees for his awesome determination in ministry, and the Chosen Ones, that really kind of speaks for itself. So, you know what? They are doing a fantastic job in this community as well as around the world, reaching out to people, blessing people through their music ministry. And Glenn Johnson and the Voices of Inner Peace is a part of that honoree platform. And there's so many others that we're grateful to honor through the GMAP Broadcast Network. And we're going to be at the Ramada Inn on May 13th at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for our first annual Salvation Celebration. Well, with that being said, we want to go ahead and dive right in. I am not going to prolong the hour any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce and present to some Cynthia Maloney. God bless you. How are you doing on today?
Good morning. How are you?
You seem like you're just as excited as I am.
I'm thrilled to death.
That is outstanding. Well, I wanted to let the world know that we're grateful to have Cynthia with us. She is the incumbent Shields Township Supervisor, and she is currently running for re-election. Yes, sir. And we are excited to let you know that we have officially made a decision to be supportive to Cynthia, and we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that you maintain that position as the Shields Township Supervisor.
Wow, I'm so honored, and thank you so much. That's
great. Please, that's what we do. Well, for those that may not know or may be undecided at this time and not really sure what's going on or what direction to go, let's do this. Why don't we allow you an opportunity to simply introduce yourself, tell us who you are, tell us where you're from, give us just a small history on the current Shields Township Supervisor's position.
Okay. My name's Cynthia Maloney, and if you vote for me, you're going to have to write my name in because I'm running as a write-in candidate for the position of Shields Township Supervisor. Okay. A lot of people don't even know what townships are or what they do.
Right.
They were started in 1850, and It was the original kind of social service agency for people who needed help. And it was also, we maintain roads and there were lots of unincorporated areas in 1850, so we had a lot of roads to build. Nowadays, it's 9 miles in Shields Township is all, but maintain roads. We assess properties for real estate property taxes, and we provide general assistance. And our most townships also provide something called emergency assistance, which is for people who don't qualify. General assistance, we're going to be, if I'm reelected, we're going to be when I'm reelected, I should say.
That's right. That's
Amen.
Right.
But we're going to be reviewing those guidelines for general assistance because they haven't been updated for a number of years. But it's very difficult to qualify. General assistance means you can't get any help from anybody else ever, anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, it's very restricted. So we also do emergency assistance where we help people who, just need a couple of $100. The difference between making it and not making it can just be actually a very small amount of money. Yeah. And it's so much more cost effective and more humane and more like what we're supposed to do, like as human beings, to help each other, to help people before they fall off the face of the earth, like before their electric is turned off or their gas is turned off or before they get evicted from their apartment. So we try to help people stay in their homes. We help families. We help children, and we work with other people to do more. So like we partner with other agencies. We try to hook people up with the most appropriate, most helpful resources that we can find for them. Right. So that's what we do. That's our whole mission. That's why we exist.
Well, I believe, you know what, Cynthia, I believe you really, how can I say, you really hit a major point, because one of my questions to you is, what exactly is the responsibility of the, first of all, Shields Township Supervisor, but that department, that division? What do you do? What's your purpose? And you really pretty much you really hit that. And when I think of Township, I always think of my friend Pat Jones.
Yes.
I love her. She is my mom's best friend.
She's
and
awesome.
It gives me and I'm a witness to what you just said, simply because I have been in that position a few times. Not just once, not just twice, but a few times. And you're absolutely right. It goes down to as small as needing gas money or a tow truck. I remember talking to the young lady. I said, I just need a tow truck to get my car home. Yeah. She said, come on in. Let's go ahead and fill out for emergency assistance. But that's what you're there for.
Right.
And you have your boundaries. Now, when it comes to the Shields Township, what's your boundaries? What areas do you cover? What cities and so on?
Okay, so our physical boundaries, we start at Route 60 on the south end, which if you took Route 60 and ran it all the way over to the lake, that's our southern boundary through Lake Forest. And then you go north, it includes all of Lake Bluff and Knollwood and Arden Shores North and South are the two little neighborhoods off of Green Bay Road that's kind of between Lake Bluff and North Chicago. And then in North Chicago, we go up to 18th Street. So all the way up to 18th.
Wow.
Yeah, so we actually include a lot of people from...
That a lot of people may not know that.
More people, I believe, more people from North Chicago are part of Shields Township than any other municipality. So it's mostly North Chicago folks that we serve.
Now, from North Chicago, what's the other alternative for the residents in North Chicago from that point? Is it Waukegan Township?
Yes.
It is. So it's either, if you're in North Chicago, it's either Waukegan or Shields.
There's a tiny little bit of North Chicago that's in Libertyville. Because the townships were laid out on a grid. Before there were any other, like back in 1850, before there were municipal boundaries and even counties were, like, I think there were like 6 counties in Illinois in the beginning. So, it's kind of crazy, and for that reason, we really work closely together with other townships. Right. Like we just started a Central Lake Dial-A-Ride where I'm working with Libertyville Township and Fremont Township to with the county's help to create a dial-a-ride so people who live in Shields can go all the way out to Mundelein if they need to. Really? On the same system without having to change the bus. So we're working on trying to get borderless, seamless transportation for people with disabilities and for seniors who need to get out of the house. Yeah, and that's one of the things that's one of the most important things that I'm running for, is to protect that system and to improve it and to grow it and to nurture it so that eventually people can go wherever they need to go. Awesome. Well, we have Cynthia Maloney here with us at the GMAP Broadcast Network studios. I am Pastor Kevin, and of course this is interesting because, again, the incumbent Shields Township Supervisor Cynthia Maloney, she is a write-in candidate. For a while, she had to sit back and think it through and say, is it going to be to my best interest and the best interest of the people for me to reconsider maintaining this position? Of course, you came up with the decision, yes. Well, discernment, that's what we all try to figure out, is what does God want us to do? Exactly. And I prayed on it a lot. Wow. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, I just, you question politics is awful. It's very strange. It's like this ego thing, and it's like, why am I doing this? And also it's it's a lot of work to try to get. And there's some meanness. There's like this nastiness that seems to have taken over. So, I don't really get into that. So, and there was someone else who wanted to run, and I thought would do a good job. And it is a 4-year commitment. It's a big commitment. But then she decided at the last minute that she didn't want to do that. No, right. And so rather than just, roll over and die. Okay. I thought, okay, I have a few weeks here. I can actually file a write-in, petition, and I did. And you did that. You made that decision. Yeah. Now, the word incumbent, some people out there listening may not understand that particular word, but you are the incumbent Shields Township Supervisor currently.
Break that down for some of our listening audience. What exactly does that word, quote unquote, incumbent mean?
Oh, it means that I am currently the supervisor, and I have been serving as supervisor for the last 3 and plus almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years. So it's a 4-year commitment.
It is.
Now, what are some of the things that I guess I can say that you're very proud of as far as accomplishment? What are some of the things that you've accomplished over the last 4 years?
Oh, wow. I've learned so much. It's amazing. It's been a really good experience, personally. And but in terms of what I've accomplished, I think when I went into the position, I one of my big goals was to change the culture. I wanted to eliminate the divisiveness and the hatefulness and the bickering and the and try to get people to work together and to see their common interests being served and to respect one another.
Right.
That didn't really work out that well.
The way you'd hoped, I'm sure.
But it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it wasn't great. But anyway, that was one of my...
That's an awesome vision,
it
though.
Was
I mean, that's...
It was like the McCoys and the Hatfields. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
They were like fighting. And
really?
So anyway, so that was one of my goals. And then I really needed to learn so much because I was new to government, new to politics. And so I just started on this like massive listening campaign, and I heard that there were people who really, I'm very lucky. I don't want to say I'm blessed. I am blessed, but not because of money. I mean, that's something else. But I've been very lucky in that I got born into the right family.
Amen.
I have money. I don't have a lot of money, but I'm okay. I'm comfortable.
Right.
I have a husband who's very supportive. I have
Awesome.
a nice house to live in. I have all these nice things.
Yes.
But so it's hard sometimes for people who have a lot to really understand people who need a lot.
And that's important. I'm glad you said that. It's amazing, almost to a certain extent, to hear that you are blessed. You have a lot of your heart's desire. Most people live life day to day hoping for a nice spouse to spend the rest of their life with, a nice home, car, job, money, so on and so forth. But to have those things and then to have such an open mind and a concerned heart to want to reach out to the people the way you are, that's exceptionally huge. I mean, how can we not appreciate somebody that really has what they need, but yet has a heart to reach out to those in need?
Oh, I think there are a lot of people out there that are like me. I think a lot of people really love other people and care about them and want to help. But to really understand what people are going through it takes an effort. You have to actually get out there and talk to them. And that's a whole nother discussion. I mean, we can go. Maybe you'll have me back for
absolutely.
for a religious or philosophical discussion about.
That would be outstanding. There she goes, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it. Okay.
About blessings and I think we're all really blessed. I think we just need to claim it. I think we need to realize that we're blessed and to live in cooperation with that blessing.
That's true ministry. That's a ministry quote right there.
Is it? Awesome. Okay.
We are blessed, and we just need to claim it.
We do.
So that is awesome. And of course, again, I want to let the world know we thank God for you. We'll be running this this conversation back on our broadcast network a little bit later this afternoon, and of course, again on tomorrow. We're going to put some things together to make sure, because we want people to understand. A lot of times they'll go to the polls and not understand. Well, I've seen this sign over and over again. Who is Cynthia Maloney? Who is that? And how do we elect her to maintain that seat? And the word write-in is very, 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 very important at this point, because it was a last-minute decision so that you wouldn't have to accept the fact that some people will ultimately end up, I don't know if I want to use the word suffer, but they will end up suffering if they do not make the right decisions. And right now, writing your name in on that write-in line for the Shields Township supervisory position would mean that if you do not maintain that particular position, some people will ultimately end up paying the price for that.
Well, my opponent has said that she wants to eliminate dial-a-ride. She thinks it's inefficient.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And obviously she's never been on a bus.
And you said dial-a-ride?
Dial-a-ride is something that I worked with a bunch of different groups. I worked with seniors.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with a group of parents in Lake Bluff whose kids had aged out of the public school system, where they get help from transportation provided from the high school. And then there's a countywide group called LCCTSC,
mm-hmm.
which I got our township to join.
Right.
They wouldn't do it before. I don't know why. They're afraid of the facts. So anyway, I'm working with a lot of different people in different townships. I'm working right now with Supervisor Jones to try to extend our dial-a-ride. I got to the right person at the right time. I was talk about blessings. I was so lucky. Dick Welton, who was I think he was mayor of Gurnee. He's passed away.
Yes.
But he was the Lake County representative to the PACE board. And he helped me get a 75% subsidy for our dial-a-ride program. So since we started the Shields dial-a-ride, I've been able to extend that subsidy to everybody in Lake Forest. Lake Forest is actually 5 different townships. Everyone in the city of Lake Forest, everybody in the city of North Chicago can sign up for the Shields dial-a-ride.
Oh, wow.
Even if you live in Waukegan Township.
Oh, wow.
And so now I'm working
awesome.
with Patricia to try to expand our dial-a-ride to Waukegan Township to enable more people to get to where they need to go.
To be able to participate.
It's so important. They say that for every $1 that you spend on transportation, it produces $2 in economic activity in the community. So that person who takes the dial-a-ride, the little old lady who goes get her hair done, this is the classic example. That hairdresser gets a chance to check on her to see if she's okay, to say, well, you don't look as good as you did the last time you came in, maybe you should go to the doctor or something like that. Then also the hairdresser gets a client that they wouldn't have had. I mean, there's just a lot of different, and then maybe the lady stops and has lunch with a friend, and she has a social interaction, and she buys food, and she's has a meal, and I mean all those things.
A lot of things can come out of it.
And most people who use dial-a-ride, actually about 56% of the people who use dial-a-ride use it to go to work.
Right. Wow.
Go to work.
Wow.
So yeah. So that's
that's an amazing statistic right there alone.
Yes.
For people to be able to go to work, make money.
Yeah.
And of course, you know what that means. Of course, bills has to be paid, so on and so forth. So again, we're talking to Cynthia Maloney. She is the incumbent Shields Township Supervisor. She is a write-in candidate for the upcoming election.
Spell my name. It's Cynthia.
Cynthia Maloney. Now, I'm going to make sure I spell it right. Okay, Cynthia. Last name Maloney.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cynthia Maloney. I'm going to be pressing you to remember that name, specifically those of you that are in the Shields Township area. We want to make sure that you understand that you don't have to just accept what you see. You can go ahead and make your vote count by simply writing the name Cynthia Maloney in that write-in slot.
And blacken that little bubble.
Blacken the bubble also.
Yeah.
Okay, blacken the bubble. Make sure you blacken the bubble and write the name in. So it requires you to go the extra mile, but it's for a special reason. And that's to make sure that they understand that in order to make sure that you maintain that position, this is what they have to do. And it's mandatory. Blacken the box in the write-in area and write in the name Cynthia Maloney. Now, is there a way for people, if they wanted to reach out to you, talk to you, if they had questions for you or concerns, whatever the case may be? I'm sure that you have an office that can handle recommendations and suggestions and things like that. How do they go about it? Do they call you directly? Do they send an email? Do they visit a website?
Well, they can call me at the township office and leave a message.
Okay.
Things have been, it's election time, so it's a little crazy.
Right.
But the number is 847.
Okay.
234.
847-234.
0802.
Okay. 0802. 02.
And then you can email me at cmaloney, CMALONEY, at shieldstownship.com. That's SHIELDS township.com. And you can come to our meet and greet.
Now, when is that?
James has organized this. It's wonderful. It's April 1st. It's at Foss Park.
Oh, the Foss Park District. Okay. The golf course?
It's at the golf course in the clubhouse there.
Now, April 1st, you said?
April 1st at 5 p.m.
Okay, at 5.
Yeah. And, we're gonna
ladies, this is not an April Fool's joke. We want you to be there. Okay, at 5 p.m.
Yeah, I thought when you picked the date, I thought, oh, James. Just
April 1st, 2017 at 5 o'clock p.m. at the Foss Park Golf Course.
Yes.
Okay, now that's right off of Green Bay Road, I believe.
Yes, in Argonne. If you take
Argonne, right.
Argonne West and sort of follow it to the end.
Right. So go Green Bay Road to Argonne Drive in the city of North Chicago and go west. You'll run right into it.
Yeah.
Actually, I did a couple of weddings and things like that down there. So it's not hard to find. If they have any questions, again, the phone number 847-234-0802. Yes, 847-234-0802, or you can call me directly here in the studio. You can see the number for the most part right behind Cynthia, and that number is 224-795-7059, 224-795-7059. Call me directly. I'll be sure to connect the dots if necessary. Again, Cynthia Maloney is the incumbent Shields Township Supervisor, and we want to show our support. You are a write-in. Yes. And we want to make sure that they, darken that bubble. I want to put a little dark bubble there. Darken that bubble and write your name in. And the name, please spell the name correctly. People will probably try to use that against the ultimate goal if you don't do it. They might know exactly who you are, but if the name is not spelled correctly, they may not count that vote. So we don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to even entertain that idea. All I'm saying is CYNTHIA. Let's make sure you know. And the last name is MALONEY. Cynthia Maloney, again, incumbent Shields Township Supervisor. You are write-in candidate for April 4th. Listen, voting early is available right now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You can avoid the lines.
Right. So they can go out and vote early now.
Sure.
And you can go ahead, since you have it fresh on your mind, fresh in your heart, go ahead and cast your vote early. You can do it now all the way up to April 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. Voting early is now through April 3rd.
You know what? I should know that, but I don't.
Well, I know that
do it
here.
Now. Just
do it now. There you go. I know here for the mayoral race.
It's till the 3rd.
It's till the 3rd.
Then
the school board.
Yeah. So that's right then.
So that you can go ahead and cast your vote. Cynthia Maloney, incumbent Shields Township Supervisor. She's a write-in candidate. Please write the name CYNTHIA MALONEY. How much more plain can we make it? We want you to go ahead and show your support. She has been there and doing a great job for the past 3+ years, and we want to make sure that you maintain that position for the next 4 years. And we will. I'm guaranteeing we will invite you back. We're gonna want to hear the victory feeling, what it's like to have that VICTORY feeling. And then, of course, who knows? Ministry might be in the very near future. You never know. We might have you here just a moment with Cynthia, and you have no clue. So she'll have to be ready consistently. So with that being said, I know we're running short of time, but before we let you go, I want you to look in the camera. I want you to tell them your name, and I want you to make your last plea to them and why they should go out and write in Cynthia Maloney, Shields Township Supervisor.
How much time have I got?
I'm not going to cut you off. I'm just going to let you have your way.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you, James, for suggesting that I come here. This has been a great morning.
Awesome.
I would be very grateful if you would vote for me. I'm running to support the people of the township and to provide services for people who need them. I don't think that my opponent is interested in cutting back, in eliminating the township completely, in reducing, taxes. But we have been, I think, very very responsible in the way that we've managed the money that we've had, and we do have a very small budget for everything because it was reduced prior to my becoming supervisor, and that's fine. I think having a really small budget is a good way to keep yourself focused, and so we just. The difference between making it and not making it is it's just a small amount of money. Like often they turn to me and say, well, you only give away, you've got an office and you've got a case manager and you've got a receptionist and you've got all these people working for you and you only give away a small amount of money. And I'm like, well, the difference between making it and not making it is really oftentimes only a very little bit of money. And it's just got to be at the right time. And it's our responsibility as human beings, as neighbors, as friends, as just fellow people to support one another and to help each other whenever we can and as much as we can. And that's what the township is really there for. That's our function. And without that local government and local control, I know that the state has anywhere from $9 to $13 billion worth of unpaid bills right now. They're cutting programs. They cut A Safe Place. They cut the YWCA. They cut a lot of, and last couple years ago they cut LIHEAP, and that's something that might be happening again with the community development block grant reduction from the Trump administration. So I think we really it's more important for us to locally take care of ourselves and each other than to depend on the state or depend on the county or depend on the federal government to help us. And it's very difficult to make it in Lake County. A family of four needs about $74,000 a year.
Yeah.
And if you're working, even minimum wage is so low. It's like if you've got a pretty good job where you're making $15,000 a year or $15 an hour, say, you end up making $30,000 a year.
Right.
So two people working in a family with two children are still about $15,000 a year short to make it. So that's why we have the food pantry at Shields. That's another thing that I think that would be endangered if I don't win. So I really think this is an opportunity for all of us in the community to come together. There have been so many wonderful people in North Chicago and Lake Bluff and Lake Forest who have all offered to help and who care about their neighbors. And I just want to be sure that those are the people that are represented. Those are the people that's who we are. And that's who we want to be. And I think if you vote for me on April 4th or before, write my name in, Cynthia Maloney for Township Supervisor,
Awesome.
Shields Township Supervisor. I will pledge to you that I will do everything I can to continue, helping to raise up our communities.
Awesome. Couldn't have done it better.
Oh, thanks.
You covered a lot of points, and I think it's a lot of points that people need to know. We thank God for you, Cynthia, for stopping by on today. We're going to do everything in our power. We're going to continue to keep your name out there. We're going to continue to keep the necessary information out there to let you guys know that she is a write-in candidate. She wants to maintain that position so that she can reach out to the people in the community. So with that being said, we want to remind you, don't forget, go out, cast your vote now or cast your vote on April 4th. Shields Township Supervisor Cynthia Maloney. And don't forget to make your vote count. We thank God for her. We thank God for each and every one of you. Coming up next, it's the Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Saturday morning coffee club hosted by Marcella A. Harden. I am Pastor Kevin. I'm feeling good. Always music sounding blessed right here on the #1 faith-based motivational and inspirational broadcast network. Listen, I'll see you in a few. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back and we'll hear from Marcella A. Harden in the Saturday morning coffee club right here on the GMAP broadcast network.